NFC side. So that's my answer. And I guess now we should move on to our third biggest game of the week, and that is Bills Patriots. This was a game that there was a lot riding on. Dan, did you also pick the Bills with me to win this game?
I did.
I'm pretty sure you did.
I
And
did.
it was a pretty insane game. Early on, it looked like the Patriots were just going to completely dominate this Bills team, and to be honest, that's what was happening. Travion Henderson and Drake May
Oh
early
my
on,
gosh.
with their legs were just completely
Churning.
tearing up. They were tearing up the Bills run defense. So they go up 21-0 into the second quarter, and then the Bills finally score a touchdown in response with James Cook, and then the Patriots get a field goal to finish off the half. So it's 24-7, and you're thinking, wow, this Patriots team is just saucing. I was, so wrong. This is not even close. But then the Bills start coming back. They get the ball to start. They score. The Patriots go 3-and-out, and then they score again. Two long drives, and then there was an interception thrown by Drake May. And this is when it really turned, because the Bills had pulled within 3 points after being down 21-0 over the course of what was really like 15 minutes of the game. It wasn't even like it took an entire half. I mean, the Patriots 3-and-out, and the interception allowed the Bills to score three straight touchdowns in the second half, and I thought that was very glaring for a Mike Vrabel defense. And in fact, it was four touchdowns. They went all the way from 21-0 to 35-31 because the Patriots did get a touchdown in the fourth
Yep.
quarter. Um, and it was actually looking like the Patriots were going to have a chance to come back, because with less than 5 minutes remaining, I think it was actually, it was like around 5 minutes left. The Bills had to punt because they went 3-and-out. The Patriots had the
Hmm.
ball with time, and you're like, man, this Bills defense hasn't been able to stop anyone. But they get the
Exactly.
fourth down. Drake May extends the play, makes the throw, but is incomplete. And that's how the game pretty much ended. The Bills ran it out. And they end the game 35-31. I don't think Drake May was bad, or a reason that they you know that they lost, but at the same time, he had 155 passing yards in an interception, 14 of 23 against this Bills defense that really hasn't done much, and he had the help on the ground.
Diggs
Uh,
was not as
he
active today as I thought he would be.
no, he wasn't. But Drake May, 4 for 43 on the ground with two rushing touchdowns. That was working. So in the red zone, he was, helping them punch it in, and he was extending plays and, getting some big gains like that. But Travion Henderson on the ground was unbelievable today. 14 for
Scotty, I
148
switched
and
him out
two.
last second.
You switched him in. Yeah, he was on my. He's riding my bench on one of my leagues. So RIP to that league. I'm not in the playoffs, but it's just sad to see. And Ramondre also had 6 for 50 on the ground, almost 10 yards per carry. So he had all the help he needed on the ground game. And I understand a lot of those were in big chunk plays. It wasn't like they were getting like 9 yards per carry. But I'm just really concerned how you go from scoring 24 points and a half to getting shut out in the third quarter, and letting a guy like Josh Allen come back in this game, as this Patriots team has zero fourth quarter comebacks, zero game winning drives this season. As soon as the Bills came back and took the lead, they had all the momentum. They scored 28 straight in the fourth quarter, or in the second half, and I don't know. It just makes me feel like this team really hasn't impressed me too much across their schedule. I mean, Drake May has been really, really consistent for them, but I want to see, more matchups like this where, he's challenged to throw the ball, because it seems his legs are always going to be a good weapon for him, but it seems that at least perhaps passing, maybe the Bills figured out something. And honestly, I'll give them credit. I don't think the Patriots wide receivers and tight ends are that great. I'll give them that. I really don't. But
Literally, it's just Diggs. And I know Booty had an amazing catch today. What's it called? What's it called? Reaching out, and then when he pulled it back in, but before him. But I think they went to challenge that, or the Patriots got ahead of it because they ended up finding out that that ball was actually incomplete. But the Patriots are actually able to get back to the line of scrimmage, run a play
yeah,
before they could see the review and stuff like that. So it's like
If you,
the,
I'm
these
not,
dudes make it happen.
yeah. I mean, it's that's always the thing that you feel two different ways about depending on which side you're on. But
Yeah.
I want to ask you, Dan, like after this game, are you buying or selling the Bills as contenders? And what about the Patriots?
Patriots, yes. Why?
You're buying
Because
or selling them?
I'll buy them.
You're buying them as contenders still?
I still buy them as contenders because you and I like have discussed it beforehand in the past about when it comes to the wins and losses, you really need to have your losses to figure out what you're bad at before the playoffs, and you rather have it before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, I think the way they lost is not so dramatic that it's too late. I think that the way they lost is perfectly timed with what they need to fix before the playoffs come. And that being the case, I would say that the what's it called, the Patriots really have like very minimal things to fix, almost like the Rams. I would say in the NFC, um, it's just I would say like the type of caliber players that they have would be would allow this team to like soar like miles above than what they are right now, personally. But there's also the nuance of hey, they have what they have and they're doing what they're doing with it. So now it's scheme. I believe in Vrabel to be able to go and get himself into the position where his defense doesn't let up 35 points in a game. You know what I mean? So there's also that aspect to it because it is Josh Allen. You're most likely going to see him in the playoffs again,
Yeah.
possibly when it comes down to it. So they were able to do it once and get him and be able to come out and beat him the one time. So if the Patriots would have won this game, I'd be shitting bricks a little bit going into the playoffs because one thing that's really hard is beating a team three times in a row, and you don't often really get to do that often. So that would have been pretty skeptical. But that being the case, I'd say I buy into them, but I also buy in to the Bills like semi now going into this because they were able to
Semi,
overcome the hump.
as in not
And
the
the reason why
same amount as the Patriots?
I would say the reason why I say semi right is because one like how there's not a lot of times I feel like I see Josh Allen like in the playoffs be like behind and then come through with it. It's like when he's behind, he's been behind, and if he's ahead, he's ahead. Like for example, like when the Bills were behind against the Ravens, they scored and they gave the ball to Lamar. That wasn't like Josh Allen came and made the game-winning drive. No, it was like Mark Andrews dropped the ball.
Yeah, no, in the Ravens game last year, he had like 100 something passing yards. Like it was more so just kind of the way they were running the offense. And
Yeah.
the other non-Chiefs one they lost was to the Bengals, and they did not come back in the snow. In that one, it was like 27-13 or something. And then the
Yep.
four Chiefs games, I'd say that two of them were kind of washes, blowouts, and then two of them were actually close. Uh, Last year was pretty close, but he didn't come through. You're right. And then, but then I think it was 3 years ago. Come on, we gotta give him credit for that. 13 seconds he left.
I'll give him no 100%.
Yeah,
I give him 100% credit for that. You know what I mean? If it, but also too, it's very mind-boggling that every year that Josh Allen gets like screwed, quote unquote, a new rule gets made into the league. That what happened after that year? We started the overtime rule that both teams get to
that's
have
for the
chance.
better. That's definitely for the better.
I agree 100%. But then all of a sudden he runs the QB sneak that Jalen Hurts has been running for so long. And Scotty, what do we have now? Electric measurement. Like, what the actual heck? And you know what's
Well,
crazy? Scott, when was the last time you saw that? I haven't seen an electrical measurement at all lately.
no, I haven't seen it either. But that was definitely a first down. They definitely botched that call. But
I agree.
it's happened to a lot of teams before, and usually the dynasties, as we call them, are the teams that get away with those the most, or benefit from them the most. But I don't know. I feel like why have why buy Patriots stock and semi buy Bills stock if we've at least seen it once from the Bills, where it should have been good enough from Allen. And the team's obviously competitive in the playoffs. When we don't know what it is at the Patriots, and with the defense letting up 35, I would point to, the quarterbacks that they've played recently, this is a massive difference. You go from playing Josh Allen to the weeks prior. You got Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart, and then you got no Joe Burrow, Cincinnati. So it's like Jake Browning or Joe Flacco, actually. Excuse me. The Jets, Baker and the Buccaneers, but, Baker's hurt this year. They don't have weapons. Penix / Cousins, Shador / Gabriel, Cam Ward on the tight. It's like I've been saying this, and I just feel like this makes so much sense. I'm like, I'm not hating on Drake May, but just this team overall, like, I feel like
You think they're going to be frauded and caught lacking in the playoffs?
I think we just saw a playoff game from them, and they went up 21 points, and then they lost that, and that's pretty concerning from the coaching staff. The players, it's they're doing what they can to be in position. It's a very young team, but I'm surprised by Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels choking that away. It's very out of character for them, but
it is very out of character.
I'm buying the Bills and Patriots still. I still believe in Drake May. I still believe in this coaching staff, and I think you're right that they needed a loss like this around this time to kind of humble themselves and come in with a bit more of a pissed off, wanting to prove something attitude in the playoffs. And I think this is actually almost a good thing that this happened. I think if they swept the Bills and they were overly confident, it would have been worse for them if they ran into like a Broncos team that they haven't played. But I think the Broncos are better. I still think they are. So that's.
Oh yeah, now the Broncos beating the Packers like that, I'm not gonna because I don't listen. Before even the injuries, I'm telling you right now, it was like they were neck and neck the entire time. So It's like because of those injuries and everything, it's like no, I'm not gonna negate just because they got those injuries. Oh, that's why they won. It's like no, they were there to ball and they balled hard.
And Bo Nix is pretty good. Like, he's may not be what Drake May might be someday, but he was good last year, and he's good this year, and he plays well when it counts. And he's got now on the season, at least on his career, he's got 10 game-winning drives on his career, and 7 of them are this season. And like I said, it was almost a fourth quarter comeback. So I'm still kind of buying those 3 teams in the AFC. I still kind of want to buy the Texans, but we'll talk about that later. And then as for the Bills, we'll just have to see if this defense, it looked like it was going to cost them in this game. It didn't. It's just going to be a roll of the dice every week to see what happens there. So those are the 3 primary games for more of like the in-depth analysis of those games. But I think now we're going to break into a bit more of the segmented ideas over the last 15 minutes. And that's going to